We have the Bills and the Jaguars, the Yahoo Game of the Week, the Yahoo Game of the Year, the Yahoo Game first ever Yahoo game ever
Hey, I
streaming.
was actually talking to one of my friends since he's in the fantasy league, Sean, and he woke up that morning and said he's like, "Hey man, did you watch any of that game?" And I'm like, "Well, A, no, I'm fucking sleeping. It's the Jaguars and Bills. I'm not getting up early for that shit." And then B, I'm like, "On what? TV?" No. He's like, "Man, I had it on my phone." I'm like, "I guess that's cool." We mentioned this already. I have mixed feelings. If you can watch it on your phone and TV, that's great. But I would rather be able to watch it on my TV than my phone. So
You want to know what happened to me? Is I actually woke up early enough to start watching it, and it ended up being like I think I woke up at like 8 o'clock on Sunday, but
yeah,
it was like 9 o'clock, and I was like, "Shit, football's on!" So I go and I turn on my PS4, and I go to the web browser on my PS4, and I'm like, "Well, let's just go to Yahoo.com." And then
right.
so I go to Yahoo.com, and it brings me like immediately to the just a search engine. So I'm like, well, through Yahoo, I'm gonna search for NFL streaming on Yahoo.com, and I find the correct page and everything, and I go to it, and on the PS4, it gave me, uh, we can't show this content message. So I'm like, are you fucking serious? That like like this whole like streaming online through the internet, and like what I can't even fucking watch it on my TV because they don't allow it through like different media devices. So I was like, what the fuck? So I sit there and I go on my phone and I'm watching the whole fucking game on my little phone. And then like my fiance walks by and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Watching football." And she's like, "On your phone?" I'm like, "Yep, this is what it resorts to."
And she was like, "What a dumbass!
Yeah, like, and that's honestly what I'm
Just
like.
turn the TV on." You're like, "You don't understand."
She did say like, "Why don't you watch it on TV?" I'm like, "Do you see what's on the fucking screen?" Like, this is why I can't watch it on the TV. Yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, we have like the most advanced technology in our entire human history, and I have to resort watching football on my little, phone as opposed.
You could have watched Meet the Press on TV.
Well, thank God for that.
Get some news.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but I mean, like honestly, if anybody asks me how I feel about Yahoo being streamed, that's how I feel. Is I had it right fucking there. I used the web browser. I went right onto the TV, and
hey,
for
you
some
gave it a
reason,
chance and
I
it pissed you off. So
exactly, yeah. And like,
yeah.
if it would have worked out, I'd be like, "Well, this is so bad." I would just go on the internet through my TV and watch it on my big screen TV. I don't care. Like, I'm up anyway. Like, whatever. But I was just pissed off the fact that I sit here and go, well, I could have had it on my TV, but apparently they don't allow that. So here I am on my little. I don't even know how big my screen is on my phone, like 4 inches or whatever it is. I'm like, well, this is all I'm doing then. Stupid. It's a stupid fucking idea.
I mean, it was just sounds like it was executed poorly. Even if it had like a decent basis for an idea, if it had been available on your PS4 and stuff, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess we could talk about the actual game.
Yeah, I suppose. Hey, and you know what? This is a hell of a good game. I was completely
I
surprised.
saw the highlights and it looked like it.
It would
I actually woke up towards the end and saw some of the end. And I found it, but the Bills are giving the Colts a run for their money. I think as far as disappointment of the season.
I almost feel
Um,
bad for the Bills. What happened is I predicted the Bills were gonna make the playoffs as a wild card this
right.
season, and it's funny because the Jets are ended up being what I expected the Bills to be, which is like the most ironic thing that could ever come out of it, considering that Rex Ryan just left the Jets, and then
Right.
that's the team that's going to end up being probably a big wild card contender, and the Jets are playing what I expected the Bills to play like, and the Bills are playing what I expected the Jets to play like this year, and it's just kind of
Yeah.
ironic of how
I,
that ended up happening.
I made the prediction of the Jets and the Bills both getting wild card spots, and I figured if any team made me look stupid, it would be the Jets, not the Bills.
Yeah,
So, I think a lot of people expected them to make the wild card spot, which I mean they still could. Half the season left,
yeah, that's
and
true.
and we'll talk more at length about all this stuff after week 8 has expired.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're definitely not doing as good as you would have hoped. The Jags, on the other hand, we kind of compared them to Oakland at the beginning of the season, and I don't think they're quite that cohesive of a unit yet. But they're a young team that's also looking pretty promising. If you're actually a fan, I don't know how many. It's like hard to find a Jaguars fan.
well, it's just you have three teams down in Florida. Like that's a pretty limited fan base. But despite that, uh, it's what's the most funny is that we just talked about this last week of uh, what team and the expansion of going uh, to London and blah blah blah. And
Yeah,
so even like amongst their own fan group, they feel that Jacksonville is like the team of London because they always play there every year and everything. And
yeah,
so
they're already have their one foot in the door, so to speak. They're playing
right.
one game here there.
And so they're having a post game interview. I think it was Alan Hearns, I think they were interviewing after the game, and they're kind of like, "Oh, how do you feel about winning at your home turf or your second home in London?" He thought so like he laughed about it. He's like, "Well, it's kind of true, like we did develop like a fan base here because we play here every year, and the fact that we actually won in our second home and." It's just kind of ironic that how that played out. And do I believe that Jacksonville is actually going to move to London? No, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I
But
do.
no, I don't.
I think it's gonna happen sooner than you think.
I don't believe it's
Uh,
going to
I think
happen.
we'll get a Los Angeles team before that happens.
Oh, definitely. Shit, I think we're getting two Los Angeles teams before that would ever happen.
But regardless if they do move, uh, them winning in London is definitely going to help them build up a fan base than going there and losing every year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they can build a fan base somewhere, maybe.
It was actually pretty funny watching like it was very quick and very subtle, but whenever they would actually show the crowds over in London, I agree with what you said of where I think majority of the people who are actually just going to watch the game are just people who are from the United States who are just living in London because I
Yeah,
saw a mixture like I saw Texans jerseys, I
right.
saw Seahawks jerseys, I saw Patriots jerseys, I saw Steelers jerseys, Cowboy jerseys. Like there's just a massed array of just NFL fans who most likely are probably from the United
Since
States.
since this was the London game, I guess. I mean, I don't know how much more there's to talk about. It was a good win for the Jags for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And other than that, I mean, it puts them in position to potentially win the sorry ass division. So, uh, but since we're on this London game, real quick, it's I have to point out something that's kind of funny. The top selling team jerseys in London, in England, I guess as a whole, are Patriots jerseys, and
What?
yeah, and that has something to do with the Super Bowl, I would assume.
Oh,
But yeah, you're already
that's
laughing.
really yeah.
It
It's
is
super
ironic that
ironic.
the most popular team in England is the team named after guys that beat them in a war. So, anyways, I just wanted to throw that in the little London game
That's messed up.
talk. So, you know, Dallas is probably number two, though. I
Yeah.
mean, realistically. So
Which even that's ironic itself because apparently Dallas is still America's team, you know? So the number one
that's
selling jersey is the American jersey of the, I mean,
right.
whatever.
It's the super American like imagery that's the
Yeah.
top selling,
Yeah.
you know, team, and which that's like I said, that probably has a lot to do with the dynasty and the Super Bowl and all that. So
Right.
I mean, they're gonna have one, you know, ourselves. But yeah, this was actually a pretty good game from what I saw. And I guess if you actually did get up early, at least it wasn't a waste of time.
No, it wasn't. It
So
kept the interest the whole time, and uh, Blake Bortles have been playing some damn good football lately.
he had a little bit of an off game this time.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean
Yeah,
a little bit, but he still ended up with the win. He got that last touchdown to Allen Hurns that was really impressive, and uh, you know, I just overall this guy even when he's losing games, like he's having
right.
impressive just games in general, and um,
I
this is a
think the
guy who's growing faster in development than I expected him to,
I think
and
the Jags are. He works on his little. If he can work on some of his decision making, which he's a young guy, so he'll probably get better at that.
yeah.
You know, and there may be one lineman and one skills player away from being like a real threat in the AFC.
Oh, definitely. And if you go back and watch our Panthers video earlier, and the Panthers in Philly from this week and everything, I mentioned a comment where I felt about Cam Newton, how the first couple of years I didn't really care for him, and then I saw him really like get better and better over time. I almost feel it's the same way about Blake Bortles. Is that it's his second year in, and maybe he's still not making the best decisions, not doing this or that like the greatest, but maybe the next year or even the year after, as he's developing more into how a quarterback should develop into, that this could be another kind of Cam Newton type quarterback, not in their playability type, but I'm just
Right,
saying
right.
in their growth of what they're gonna come out to be and everything. And I hope I'm right on that, because honestly, the more I'm watching Blake Bortles play, the more I'm liking him, and I hope that I don't burn myself in the ass and all of a sudden next
I
year.
don't think so. He's a young guy that's going to be one of the better quarterbacks going forward. And I guess the last thing I have to say about this game is the most impressive thing about the win is that Julius Thomas was shut down and they still won.
Yeah, in the previous week he had a really good week, and this week
Uh,
he didn't really do much of anything. So
they won by it's fairly comfortably in the end, I guess. Uh, I mean, it wasn't a dominant win by any means, but it was a solid win. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And they did that without arguably their best. I mean, he's the tight end, but he's like probably the best receiver. So
I don't know. I like the Allens, Allen Robinson, Allen
Allen,
Hurns. Yeah,
yeah,
like I like both of them. I wouldn't discount them as
no, no,
bad
no,
by
they're
any
not
means.
bad. I don't think it's. I don't think me saying Julius Thomas is better is saying they're bad. But Julius Thomas, has been pretty damn good over the years. So I mean, I know some of that was because he was catching passes from Peyton Manning, but
Yeah, but then again, you can argue then, well, why isn't Owen Daniels putting out those numbers either?
right, right. So now some of that obviously was Julius Thomas. So
hmm
anyway, uh, a promising young Jaguars team that could potentially make a run here, and a disappointing Bills team. That's, I think, the big summary of
I
takeaway
think
from those.
I. This is how unprepared I am. I think they have the same record right now, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken. So,
but division wise, that record's miles away.
oh yeah, okay,
you know,
that's a very good point. I'm just saying, neither one of these teams are out by any means yet.
right.
But we're approaching halfway
The
through the
Jaguars are
season.
in better shape
Yeah,
than.
they definitely are divisionally wise,
Uh,
but especially approaching halfway
well,
through the
just
season.
momentum. They look like a team on the rise, whereas the Bills look like a team really struggling to find an identity. Although if they get Taylor back, that's the big thing that we haven't mentioned is they didn't have Tyrod Taylor.
No, they didn't.
So
But
that
you know,
should help.
even without Tyrod Taylor, I think you made the best point. Is this is a team that has struggled with making an identity so far,
Yeah.
and that's kind of unfortunate because I kind of expected them to have that figured out by like week 2, you know,
Right.
and they really didn't. And you're right because I think Jacksonville has made an identity, or at least approaching to making that full identity for themselves, and I think that's helping a lot for them.
And
That they know what they're capable of, and they know that they can win these type of games, and that's definitely helping them.
I know that I said the other thing was my last thing, but this is really my last thing.
Okay,
EJ Manuel, only quarterback to lose games in 3 different countries. Good job.
something to be proud of.
Was it Fox Sports? I think that were like at least he got to see the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. All
Yeah.
right. With that, you can leave us a comment of, how was your experience, viewers? Are I think 3 fans now. How was your experience with the Yahoo uh, streaming situation? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you not care? Did you not wake up? I mean, let us know. Definitely come join us on Facebook and Twitter. We usually post something almost every day. We definitely post any new videos or anything that's going on sports related to there. And yeah, come like us. Come, 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 chameleon.